All right, so here's our last example for for section 6.6. We are working through a situation. So you're planning what to do after school. You can spend at most 6 hours daily. So to me, that's something to keep in mind, right? At most 6 hours daily playing basketball and doing homework. You want to spend less than 2 hours playing basketball, and you must spend at least 1.5 hours on homework. And I want you to, what is the graph showing how you can spend your time? So, like we did in 6.5, we're going to label X and Y and say what they are. So I'm going to call X hours playing b-ball, and Y is going to be our hours with homework, HW. So I know at most, which means less than or equal to 6 hours. So less than or equal to 6 hours, and that is my basketball plus my hours of homework. So X plus Y will be less than or equal to 6. I know that I want to spend less than 2 hours playing basketball, so I want my basketball to be less than 2. And I need to spend at least 1.5 hours on homework. So my Y is going to be greater than or equal to, because it's at least 1.5. All right, so those are my equations. The other thing to think about is that my X is going to be greater than 0 and that my Y is going to be greater than 0. And the reason we talk about that is we can't have negative hours. So we're not going to physically graph that part of it, but that's something to keep in mind, that really we are working only the first quadrant. And if you want to, I know how small these boxes are on yours, if you want to make the entire box your first quadrant and just, expand your picture from there, that is fine. I should have just put a first quadrant in here. So the first thing I'm going to do now is just like we did before. I'm going to graph. So I'm going to make this one Y is less than or equal to negative X plus 6. And then I'm going to graph that. So every 2 boxes is going to be 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to come up here and put that here. And then that means I go down, which also means I'm going to end up down here. And since it's 1 over 1, I can go 1 over 1. I'm just going to go down 2 over 2 so I don't have as many dots to make. All right, and then because it's the equal to, I'm going to draw a straight line, and I'm going to do that without you watching me. Okay, obviously I missed the points, but we'll live. And then we've graphed this first one. I'm going to look at when I plug in 0, 0, so 0 plus 0 is 0, and is 0 less than or equal to 6? And the answer is yes, so that means that if it'll allow me, going to draw little arrows, meaning we are going that direction. All right, now I'm going to do my X is less than 2. So I'm going to go, so this would be 1, this would be 2. And X would mean a vertical line. And since it doesn't have the equal to, it's just going to be a dashed. So I'm going to have a dashed line where X is 2. And it's less than, so that means we are shading this direction. Maybe. Alright, hold on. Alright, so I added a couple more arrows so that we had it all the way down. Alright, and then our last one we're going to graph is going to be Y is greater than or equal to 1.5. So if here's 1, So then this, what is, I guess, technically the third box is going to be our 1.5. It is equal to, so this is going to be a solid line, at least the best that I can make it a solid line. And then we're greater than that, which means our arrow is going to go up. All right, so keeping in mind that we are working with only positive values, we kind of also have the boundary going right here as well. Whoop, squiggly on my part, but there it is. And so when I look at my arrows, the one place where all 3 arrows are is this lovely quadrilateral right here. And so that's where I am going to shade. And so anything in here would be answers or solutions to how many hours he can spend doing homework and basketball, but not exceed the 6-hour limit that he has. And again, remember, because of it being real world, it had to be within the constraints of positive x and positive y values. So that is it. Don't forget, test next Thursday, and I will see you there.